Hey church family, we are in day 5 of Holy Week, and the passage today is Matthew 26, 17 to 30. The crux of this passage is the Last Supper. And you know, Jesus, what happens in this passage is that he invites the disciples to share a meal together. And this was a common practice. They would celebrate Passover together, but this was a little bit of a different invitation in that Jesus, at the supper, he invites the disciples through obviously connection and conversation to share this meal together, but this was his last meal. And Jesus took the bread and he said, "Take this and eat. This is my body." And in the same way, he took the cup and he said, "This is my blood poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." See, at this particular time, obviously, Jesus said something that maybe floored the disciples. And basically what he was getting at is that he would sacrifice his body and he would shed his blood for the forgiveness of sins. As I read this passage, there's a couple of challenges, encouragements that I would give to you as a family today. First thing is simply this. In some other Gospels, it says this, that Jesus said to take the bread, this is my body that was broken for you, to take the cup, this is the blood that was shed for you. But then he says this, he says, "Do this in remembrance of me." See, the Bible doesn't say how often we should take communion. It doesn't say how many times we should celebrate the Lord's Supper. But for those who have surrendered to Jesus, it just says that when we do it, to do this in remembrance of me. So I would encourage you as a family, sometime throughout the day, maybe you would take a piece of bread or a tortilla or a cracker or maybe pita bread, break it and celebrate and remember the sacrifice that Jesus made specifically for you. And in the same way, take a cup of grape juice, and as you drink, as a family, to remember the blood that was shed on the cross for the forgiveness of sins. And then the last part of the passage, verse 30, I want to read it to us. It says, "And when they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives." Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes Scripture, there's a passage that just jumps off the page at me. And I've never noticed this particular piece, that it says the disciples, after the Last Supper, after they were floored by what Jesus said, it says that they sang a hymn. And I would encourage you as a family, maybe wherever you are, that you would do the same thing, that you would take time and sing a hymn. Two of my favorites, maybe you want to use these, "When I Survey the Wondrous Cross," or "Jesus Paid It All." Both of those really center on what Jesus did on the cross for you and for me. So the encouragement is to thank him, to remember the sacrifice that he made for you, and to celebrate that as a family today.